Good morning, fellow option traders. This is Jeff, and welcome to the Daily Scan for Wednesday, November 19th, 2014. Alright, in yesterday's news, nothing really kind of shocking except for maybe this Treasury International Capital was a bit of a surprise in that the government sold a lot of long-term bonds to foreign holders. So it just sort of tells me that the U.S. still, the perception is that the U.S. is a stable investment, I guess you might say, compared to others. So when you got a lot of money, what are you going to do with it? Well, you're going to buy some treasuries, I guess, from the U.S. I never would, because they're not paying anything, but I might as well just stuff my money under a mattress. No, I won't give you my address. But that is that. So you might want to take a look at those yourself. For today, we have housing starts at 8:30, petroleum status report at 10:30, and kind of a biggie is FOMC minutes at 2 o'clock. That might be kind of interesting to see what Auntie Yellen and her cohorts, partners in crime, I have to say. Tomorrow's kind of a big day, and then Friday's quiet. Next week is Thanksgiving here in the U.S. I believe the markets will be closed on Thursday, and I think they'll only be open for a half a day on Friday. Volume overall next week is going to be very slim. Not sure exactly what I am going to be doing next week. Maybe next week I can work on some of these adjunct videos that I've been talking about. And I do want to talk about diagonals. And I do want to do a video on the studies and how they've changed and matured since the first of the year. And I forget, there might be one other video I might want to do yet. But be that as it may, this is the Daily Scan, so let's get on with it. Alright, in Asia, bearish across the board. I still get those two mixed up. And we're green almost across the board in Europe. And kind of weakly green, I guess you might say, for the most part. Another thing before we move on I wanted to mention was I like to watch Liz and Jenny on Tasty Trade. If I'm going to watch anybody, it's going to be her or those two because, well, for a couple of reasons. First of all, they're a lot easier to look at than a lot of other people on Tasty Trade, and they tend to stay focused. I don't watch their show, but when they focus in on one thing, like here, this Twitter diagonal from 11:10, I wait till after they post them. I don't watch them live. So I like watching them because they stay focused. So if you want to kind of learn anything here, you might want to take a look at Liz and Jenny. Just an FYI. Nothing real big here. Okay, so let's take a look at the markets here. And we're going to talk about Alibaba in a minute here. We're going to go to the Big Four. And see how we're doing. I don't know why you did that to me. Okay, I would call this a flat open, or at least open very close to the close from last night. Gold is almost at 1200, as we can see here. We were actually a tad above 1200. Oil's at 74.74. up 11 cents overnight. So that's looking pretty good. Gas is finally starting to catch up and get down there. The dollar. Here we're at 87.72, and the euro is still $1.25. Let's go back to a single one here. And take a look at. I'm going to turn these things off here because I'm not interested in them for the purposes of looking at this chart. Okay, and I wanted to take a look at the euro US dollar here. Okay, so we might be, this is looking, here we have a downtrend here. I can turn my screen draw on here. We have a downtrend here, and then a flag, and then a flagpole, and then a flag. So these are bear flags. So we might be interested in keeping track of what is going on here. If we're going to get another flagpole, I guess you might say, another impulse down. We'll see if that happens. So that's an interesting pattern, price pattern that you might want to take a look at it. And again, flagpole, rather large one, flag, and then a short flagpole, and then another flag. So that's a distress flag. Coincidentally, when you put a flag up and it's upside down, that means distress. So funny that this works out the same way. As upside down flag means that the euro US dollar pair is in distress. Yeah, funny how that works out. Okay, let's get on with our scan. Take a look here, and I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story about a debit spread. And here's the reason, before we get going with the scan, here's the reason why I don't like a debit spread. This one is going bad, this 118, 122. Let's take a look at it on the Analyze tab for a moment here. Alibaba, I did enter a 50 Delta yesterday, and we'll talk about that. So here is this debit spread, right? And it went bad. So debit spread, you basically, in my mind, you throw your money on the table and you say, I'm going all in. You really are saying that I'm either going to make $200 or I'm going to lose $200 roughly. So in this case, we're losing 180. We risked 180 to make 220. This was a 50 Delta debit spread. And we were looking break even here at 119 and some change, with the short here at 122. So now there's nothing I can do about this. As you can see here, neither one of these calls is worth squat. With a credit spread, if these were puts, I could at least buy back my short and ride the long into the weekend, like I did on Amazon last week, where I took that one to break even after it was losing horribly. So I was at least able to buy back the short, and the long was in the money and going deeper in the money. Same thing I did with RUT a while back. So you can do these things when they make huge moves against you, as evidenced in the chart here. So we have a big move against us here. I'm sitting here with this debit spread up here. There's not a dang thing that I can do about this. I'm just going to have to take it on the chin. So my adjustment, I guess you might call it, was to sell 2 debit spreads with the 50 delta here at 110, and I actually did it with a $2 spread. So if I was to look on the Analyze tab and turn all these on, this is what it looks like. It's like I bought an iron condor, basically, and that's effectively what I did. So I'm looking for this. We actually could end up making a whopping $10 on this trade, provided it moves past this short here at 110. So we need to get past this 110, heading down, and I'll pretty much break even on this trade for this week. And that is the story behind that one. So again, the reason why I don't like the debit spreads is there's no way that I can, on a big move like we have here, this is a pretty big move since I entered this thing, and probably going to continue to move down, at least I hope it does for this week, and I will be able to break even on that particular trade. So I'm sticking to credit spreads, but I am going to be taking a look at diagonals. And that's the reason why I ended up on Liz and Jenny here, was, if you can see, I did a search. I just went up here in the search box and I said diagonal. And I wanted to see whatever they might have on diagonals. And all these videos popped up with diagonals. And I immediately went to the Liz and Jenny, because Tom, he yucks it up, and it's and then the bat, they're like joking, and it's like, wait a minute, I turned this thing on. You said you're going to talk about this, and it takes 5 minutes or more for them to get into the subject. And these are kind of interesting too. These sessions here with Ned or Norm, or I forget what his name is. These are pretty good too. He asks good questions, he knows what he's doing, and they challenge him, so those are pretty good too. Anyway, I definitely am digressing here. Let's get into our scan before we get too late into this thing here. Okay, Apple is trying to come down and give us an entry. Diagonal, like a poor man covered call or something on this, where you buy in the money call and then sell an out of the money call. That's a diagonal, or a poor man's covered call. Might be a good play to do on Apple. And you do them with different months. Like you buy your in the money call, say in December or January. It's going to be expensive. And then you sell out of the money calls against it, and hopefully to recover the cost. So if you roll from month to month, or if they expire worthless and you continue to buy them, only if the stock goes up. If the stock turns against you, well, it is a directional play, so you're taking a chance. But we will talk more about diagonals. I'll make a video about it. So nothing going on with Apple right now. Amazon, again, waiting for it to come down into our target area. Boeing, same story, not cooperating. Boeing's looking pretty good right here. Alibaba, we already talked about that. Baidu. Also, we have a violation here. Yeah, we have a violation there. This is not going to count anymore for a... And we also have a moving average turning down. Looks a lot like Baba, doesn't it? So, let's remove all drawings in case there's any old ones. That is that. So what do we do with that? Nothing right now. Chipotle, they were on our list. They were not on our list yesterday. They made a sweet little move from here down to here. So they are now on our list for a setup for today. Alrighty then, let's go to Costco. Costco is not giving us an entry. Peek at the Dow. It's just kind of sitting here not doing anything. New high yesterday. Woohoo! Happy days are here again. I won't burn your ears with my singing. Gold. Definitely in a bullish move right now. Keep going, baby. Google. Definitely in a bearish move right now. Very bearish. Very, very, very bearish. LinkedIn. LinkedIn is... I don't like getting these PPI arrows and moving averages moving down. 13-day. I might change this. They're still sticking with a 13-day for right now. What's this one? 20. Huh. What does this look like if I change it to 20? Still moves down. I might kind of like... let's play with the 20 for a while. MA 220. I'll make a note of that. So this is the Hull moving average. It's still showing me a move down here. We got the down arrow on person pivot, and we also got a down indicator on the moving average. I'm just looking here. Yeah, things like this, you just have to kind of ignore this stuff when it does things like that. Ignore it. Okay, so we got LinkedIn. I'm not going with LinkedIn. I am removing my target on LinkedIn. NDX. Oh, by the way, the not having a problem with drawings anymore. Oh, let's see here. We have this Iron Condor. Still not paying off yet, but look at the expiration dates on this in December. So it's going to take a little while. And we'll see if that wiggles around in here and gives us any sort of money. We have the same thing going on with Netflix. Actually, it's almost we're almost even on that now. But back to NDX on the chart. No entry here on NDX. Netflix chart-wise, it's just not doing anything. Not doing anything. Priceline, we're looking for direction. That's the way we trade. We're directional traders. Well, I am anyway, and if you're with me, you are too. There's no reason why you can't be a non-directional trader. Just if you're watching this, we're directional, and we're waiting for an entry here on Priceline. I may not be interested in Priceline. We'll let it play out a little bit more. The Russell, actually, we had them out here yesterday. I think because of this turnover in the moving average and the PPS down arrow, I would like this to give me another day. Prove it to me, buddy. And it may have a problem doing that, but we'll put it back on the list for a 20 delta for today. We actually had Baidu on there for a 20 delta, and it failed us. And we had Baba on there for a 50 delta on the bullish side, and it failed us too. And we went in the other direction. It is a adjustment. Yeah, let's move on here. We're already 20 minutes into this thing. Sorry about that. SPX, it's not doing anything except it's not giving us an entry. It looks suspicious. It just looks really suspicious. Tesla, nice moves here, not giving us an entry. And last but not least is Visa, flattening out. Do we have... We're still up arrow on PPS, but our hull just turned over a couple days ago, mainly because it's just not going anywhere for right now. Okay, sorry for the babbling. If you wanted to just watch this for the scan, I apologize for that. So anyway, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day and happy trading.